I just really want to see more of this world and these characters. Like, I love this.
Same, dude. Same. I am really excited. I even believe that they can, pull something interesting off with Luna. If they can make me care about Luna, then I think that they will have succeeded in every important way to me personally, which, as we all know, since I am the YouTuber in charge of this channel, is what matters in the end. I would go on to eat those words like a delicious breakfast bowl. Luna from Helluva Boss is an essential part of a balanced meal, and certainly a balanced action comedy cast. The Wolf Girl has got the snark, the social awkwardness, and the bite to set her apart from the rest of the Imp team. Plus, she's really popular in fan art and fan works because of her, memorable design. So how did our dear furry go from my least favorite character to Helluva Boss's definitive best girl? I mean, outside of Milky, of course. And how does Luna's role in the show enrich the Helluva Boss experience? Let's find out today. Hey, don't be sus! It's me, Gus, and I'm back in hell for another video that my family is probably going to have questions about. Papa, don't preach! It's a well-written show, I swear! Sure has been a hell of a wait for Helluva Boss Episode 8, and I'll give it to you straight. The fact that it feels so late ain't so great. And so to compensate until the release date, I've decided to throw another character analysis video on the slate. You all seem to really enjoy last year's video on Blitz, and although many of you might have expected I'd cover Moxie next, the truth is that most of what I could say about him was covered in the Blitz video. This isn't to say Moxie doesn't have interiority, but rather his perspective is so often used as a stand-in for the audience that outside of analyzing his decisions in specific episodes, the bigger picture with him is spoken for. Like I said in the Blitz video, he's the sitcom mom, the voice of reason that contrasts with the outlandish antics of the rest of the cast. Plus, his relationship with Millie, while wholesome, can sometimes provide too easy a narrative solution to Moxie's struggles. Luna, on the other hand, is far more of a live wire. Her main issues haven't been resolved in the series yet, and likely won't be before the end of Season 1. And in terms of characterization, that lingering tension makes her far more worthy of a deep and thorough analysis. I said analysis, okay? Quit being so nasty. Gee. Let's start at the very beginning, back in the span of months between October 2016 and January 2017, when South Korean record label Blockberry Creative revealed the first 4 members of their new pop music girl group Luna, which over the following years would find international success with fans across the world. I don't know anything about K-pop, so we're just moving on from this bit. The pilot episode of Helluva Boss is far from its strongest entry, but what it does feature is a montage that establishes the baseline for Luna's character. She is portrayed as abrasive and inconsiderate of her co-workers, unmotivated to do her job above the bare minimum, and seems to constantly make regrettable decisions that only serve to make her more miserable in the long run. If you challenged me to define what Luna's appeal is at this stage, I don't think I could do it. She's mean, sure, and I hear some people are into that, but the way the montage is structured causes her to come across as more like an annoying wet blanket than a character whose cruelty is meant to be entertaining. It doesn't help that nobody else is particularly in top form this episode, and that the Billy and Mandy kid at the end dishes out some way better burns than Luna does. I recognize that a lot of Helluva Boss fans do genuinely enjoy the pilot, and credit where credit's due, there are some things of merit here. For example, while pilot Luna is aggressively unlikable, the show is using her bad attitude as a vector for conflict right out the gate. Moxie is able to criticize the way Blitz runs the company through Luna, who gets special treatment because Blitz is her legal guardian.
Oh, sit on a dick, Moxie.
You sit! Sit on a... and the... do your job!
While this alone doesn't grant her agency, it does give Luna's character a purpose for existing in the story, unlike, say, Millie, who is usually just Moxie's second head. Establishing what Luna's job is and the quirks that prevent her from doing it optimally fulfills the primary function of a pilot episode, introducing the main characters and how they interact with the story engine. There's a realistic tug-of-war between Luna's poor performance as Dispatch and her informed domestic role as Blitz's daughter. While Blitz and Moxie bicker about it, Luna is caught in the middle. She has as little love for her day job as most 20-somethings, and views Blitz's overly affectionate performance of parenting to be equally frustrating. Based on the fact that throughout the pilot she's texting, references drinking, and possibly even has an STD, it's apparent from the get-go that the immediate murder professional's workplace is not where Luna really gets to be herself. This might be why it's so hard to relate to her when we're watching the pilot in isolation, because we're not seeing Luna in her element. What we're seeing is the side of her personality she reserves for the least exciting part of her day. Now, sure, a certain portion of the fandom could overlook this, and likewise didn't mind her sparse characterization in the following 2 episodes. Were there also people who wish she had more screen time? Of course there were. But when a character like Luna enters the internet, the amount of canon material they appear in quickly becomes irrelevant. Except, of course, to the critical eye of audience members with a vested interest in measuring the show's holistic strengths and weaknesses. The early handling of Luna's character was of course going to look like a flaw to detractors due to her outsized popularity compared to how little she appeared in the show. I myself was firmly in this camp, but like most of everyone else who blindly declares popular things to be mid instead of trying to understand why so many people like them, I was ultimately proven wrong. Literally, the video I took the starting clip from was called "I Was Wrong About Helluva Boss." It's not like this is unprecedented. I think we all know which episode of Season 1 Luna pilled the rest of the show's audience. It had to be Spring Broken, which is not only an episode focused on her character, but in my eyes is one of the best Helluva Boss episodes to date. Because of course it is. It's got Milky. I have a problem. Seriously though, this episode, in all of its age-restricted glory, had to follow the emotional rollercoaster of Lululand and still managed to leave a big impression on the audience. Part of that might have to do with it being one of the edgiest episodes yet, chock full of innuendos, drugs, and alcohol, and not to mention Verosika Mayday and her band of down bad succubi. On top of that, it was the first time the fans really got to see Luna as a 3-dimensional character with agency in the plot. She willingly steps out of her usual office role in order to get closer to Vortex, a fellow hellhound who is working as a bodyguard for Verosika. On the surface, it might seem like a shallow motivation, but she actually earns her place in the field by acting as a decoy so that the imps can rack up kills. The fact that she has a human disguise and the others don't shows that Luna is more competent and street smart than she lets on, or at the very least, her status as a slightly more powerful demon could be a useful asset on missions. Without Luna, the chances of the imps winning back their parking space from the succubi would be much lower, if not impossible. That's not to say Luna sticks to the plan entirely, as she does go off on her own to strike up a conversation with Vortex. This is a second example of Luna making a choice that influences the plot of the episode, as she's pursuing a goal that is ultimately her own, even if it runs counter to what her boss and legal guardian Blitz expects of her. It's a clear-cut rebellion against everything that keeps her from expressing herself, and while I can see that being instantly relatable to the target demographic of Helluva Boss, it's also a smart writing decision. In this scene, Luna isn't merely creating conflict for its own sake, there's something she wants, and because we've been primed to see her side of things, we hope she can succeed despite the conflict that will naturally arise from her actions. In short, this subplot provides a genuine reason to be invested in Luna's character. The conflict raises all-important questions like, will her conversation with Vortex go well? What will Blitz think of her attempt at independence? And what will we learn about Luna in the process? The answer to that last one is that she's surprisingly awkward. She's playing with her hair, fumbling over words, making nonsensical comments, and it's not hard to see why. When Luna is around her coworkers, the stakes are low. She can be as mean as she wants, and Blitz will still shower her with unconditional fatherly affection. And it's not like they could fire her anyway, because she's the only demon in the office capable of using Stolas' book. Luna's position in the office is secure, and so is her social status there. But with Vortex, she wants him to like her, and if she can't come across as endearing, then he'll probably choose not to hang out with her. The pressure to nail this interaction is on, and it's a tried and true facet of storytelling that pressure can be used to reveal a character's inner nature. We know that Luna can pretty convincingly act like the baddest bitch in the room, but once we're shown this more delicate side of her, the mask has already slipped. I joked in one of our previous Helluva Boss videos that Spring Broken humanized Luna while also literally humanizing her, and I'd like to think the association wasn't lost on the creative team at Spindlehorse. This is where the appeal of Luna became evident in the text of the show. She's a tough-as-nails hellhound who doesn't care about you, and would probably just flip you off if you asked for her number, but beneath it all, she's totally desperate for love and attention, and will earnestly try to be sweet if she does like you. This amusing contradiction in Luna's behavior makes her a classic example of a common anime character archetype, the tsundere. A portmanteau of sun, meaning aloof or irritable, and dere, meaning love-struck. Tsundere characters are incredibly popular, and they are often the female leads in the anime they appear in. Some of the most famous tsunderes include Taiga Aisaka from Toradora, Asuka Langley Soryu from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Rin Tosaka from the Fate series. One of the first subbed anime I saw back in the 2000s was The Familiar of Zero, which also featured a tsundere female lead in the form of Louise Francois Leblanc de la Valliere, also known as Louise the Zero. She's a noble-born spellcaster who is so unskilled at magic that during a ritual where the students of Tristan Academy summon familiars, she messes up and calls one from Earth instead of her world. This results in the male protagonist, Hiraga Saito, being isekai shanghaied into serving as her magical familiar. It was a wacky show. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not familiar with the appeal of a post-Spring Broken Luna. Though her interest in Vortex is unrequited, the fanbase is now permanently aware that the Wolf Girl can get flustered and become infatuated with people she's just met. This opens up even more doors for fanfictions the audience was already writing, and fan art, let's not talk about the fan art. While we're on the subject of Luna-related media, this video wouldn't be complete without bringing up the Silva Hound song, Root of All Evil, which features Luna's voice actor, Erika Lindbeck, as well as my good-aligned twin, the Stupendium, rapping as Blitz. While it isn't as well known as the other song that Silva Hound did for a Spindlehorse character, Angel Dust's Attic music video on the official VivziePop channel has over 100 million views on Root of All Evil, the song still gets across the essence of who Luna is as a character and how she relates to her family. The gangster rap style fits with the class struggle inherent in working for Imp, and Erika Lindbeck hits us with some choice bars that show off Luna's confident side as she knows the assassination business is starting to make real money. This through line continues into Blitz's verse, as the Stupendium raps about how difficult being the boss can be, but it's all worth it to watch Luna grow up. While Root of All Evil isn't officially canon to the series as far as I know, it is touching to imagine Blitz and Luna putting aside their differences and working to overcome their real common enemy, the system that keeps them impoverished. Luna's love-struck side is also given a nod with the lines, "The way that it hurts, it ain't really worth it getting infatuated." This has made me speculate that Luna's crush on Vortex won't be a one-off occurrence in Helluva Boss. The Hellhound is hella sensitive, and I'm sure we'll get our hearts broken right along with her the next time a connection doesn't work out. Of course, there might be some ulterior motive to the writers showing Luna in the company of multiple potential partners, but ultimately leaving her single. I'm not hating though, it's a legitimate hustle. When you've got a character that many people are crushing on IRL, the last thing you want is to pair them off with a love interest that the audience hates. I think this is why, despite how aggressively overprotective he is, we can partially sympathize with Blitz wanting to keep Luna safe. Like Blitz, we don't want to see Luna get hurt, and while Vortex seems like a great guy, there's no telling if the next person she falls for will be. This is what makes the verbal fight between Blitz and Luna in Spring Broken so real. We can see where both of them are coming from, but neither side is being fully reasonable. The fact as well that the episode ends without a real reconciliation between the two means that this conflict will be an ongoing struggle between both characters as they develop. While there hasn't been another episode since Spring Broken where Luna serves as the main perspective character, she did get to participate in the unforgettable fight scene of Episode 6, Truth Seekers. The sequence is more or less the fanservice finale to an intense episode grounded in the dynamic between Blitz and Moxie, but it is undeniably cool to see how much of a demon Luna can be when she's allowed to run wild. Even without guns, she can do a lot of damage with her fangs and claws, and it goes to show that Hellhounds are definitely a cut above imps when it comes to raw power. Humans too. On her worst day, Luna could shred any of us like a chew toy. No contest. Judging by all the Season 2 promotional material we've been seeing, Luna is going to play a prominent role in an upcoming episode that involves getting Blitz back out there on the town, which is great news for Luna fans after she barely appeared in Part 1 of the Season 1 finale. And I think the rest of us will be waiting with bated breath for that episode to be released too. Or any episode, for that matter. It's been a while. We need our fix of Helluva Boss. Come on, Vivzie. Let's go, Brandon. We need more content. I know that it's probably going to be better for the extra time and care spent on it, but God damn it, I just need to know how Season 1 ends! I'm complaining about it! All that aside, I hope this video has helped explain why Luna is a character that has so completely won the hearts of Helluva Boss fans everywhere, and why she might be on her way to earning herself a spot in the pantheon of tsundere icons just like good old Louise de Francois de fuck. Honestly, I can't think of any character more deserving of praise in this regard than our dear furry—
Excuse me? What the fuck is this?
Oh, this is awkward. Hey, Dire Wolf.
Are you making a character analysis video about a wolf girl other than me? You know that's illegal, right? Haven't you read my fucking contract?
I swear this isn't what it looks like. Please don't tell Mo.
How about I eat everything in your house, and then I tell Mo?
Everything? Like, everything? That's not including me, right?
Not if you get the hell out. 10, 9, 8.
Okay, I'm gone. In fact, you live here now. Goodbye, everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you...
In my tummy.
No!